Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Lineup Lock Show here for Sports Ethos NBA DFS today. Check out my neat background. Look at this. Dan Bespris does the best work here. Look at that. Look at that. Master. Why can I not get my fingers right? Mastermind, Mr. Dan Bespris on the image work. What a guy. Anyways, we are going to talk about another 4-game slate here for the playoffs. We are excited here. Probably one of the last 4-game slates here, as teams are getting eliminated, these will obviously go away, become 3-game slates, 2-game slates. Then eventually, towards the end of the playoff, we'll just get the single-game showdowns, which I don't even really like, honestly. I'll probably stop doing the show at that point, just so you guys know. I just don't do very well in that format. You have to be honest with yourself in DFS today and know what you're playing. If you did follow yesterday with the live lineup lock show all the way to the end, I did end up suggesting, or at least myself, putting in John Morant into our lineups because everything was trending towards him playing. It seemed like he was going to play. And Anthony Davis was a huge hit as well. So hopefully you guys made some money off of that. I know I did. Put in about $22. Putting that in on the daily. I made a 225 or so. So hey, a little 10x investment, basically, 10x ROI. I will take it all day, every day, and hopefully we can keep that stuff rolling, man. And if you want to know, I had again $13 on DK across 5 entries, and on FanDuel I had $9 across, I think, 4 entries. And if you want to know why I did it that way, and there's a single entry GPPs, you want to know why I did it that way, I did post a link to my show strategy session show with a guy I really respect and admire, Mr. Michael Fiddle. It's over there in the live chat if you guys want to check it out, but explains why I split up my entries in that way and why I'm playing it that way. Anyways, let's talk about this slate right here. That's what you guys came for, isn't it? So first and foremost, we've got the Cleveland Cavaliers and the New York Knickerbockers. Going to be a really, really interesting game. I love the Cavs to win this series. Sorry, Knicks fans. I'm sure there are a lot of Knicks fans out there watching and listening. But I just feel like the Cavs have a more solid team. I know that the Knicks are up. It doesn't faze me really. I'm still on the Cavs here, but I will say for DFS purposes, I'm leaning a lot more towards Knicks players, I find, which is a little bit surprising. But one guy I'm really all over today in a basically must-win game. I mean, you can't fall into a 3-1 hole. Is Donovan Mitchell. I think Donovan Mitchell at 9,200 on DK. And over on FanDuel, he's 9,800. I feel like, it's definitely a premium price that you're paying for that guy. But I just feel like this is the game where he's absolutely going to explode. We've seen him put up, 50 points in the past. I believe in a playoff game. If not, then it was darn near that. So I'm looking for that, to happen again here. Obviously, I'm looking for a ceiling game from Mr. Donovan Mitchell, but I feel like either way, he's a very solid spin-up option. Everyone's going to gravitate towards Jason Tatum. The narrative I've seen all day, every day for the last 12 to 14 hours all over Twitter and everything like that. Did you see my eyes? See how there's bags under them? It's because I don't sleep. I'm on Twitter constantly, keeping you guys informed. But everyone's all over Jason Tatum. He's going to have high ownership. It is what it is. I personally want to go ahead and shift over to Donovan Mitchell. I feel like that's a wise choice here. I'm pivoting a little bit off of what I think other people are going to do, which is a big part of winning in DFS. All right, other guys I'm looking at on this Knicks and Cleveland Cleveland matchup. I will say it's a game total that's not very attractive here. Let's take a look at the spread and game total. Spread currently is 2.5 points in favor of the Cavs. No, in favor of the Knicks. Sorry, 2.5 points in favor of the Knicks. So they started at 2.5 point favorites, shifted down to 3, so people are on the Knicks, and then it shifted back up to 2.5. That reeks movement to me. I really think that's the case here, where we're going to be. We've got a lot of money. Always have a lot of money coming out of the New York Knicks. A big fan base, but that line is actually shifting back to invite us to bet on the Knicks. That's always kind of a red flag there. I believe the Cavs are probably favored by a lot of models out there. I have to believe. Fiddle has a lot more information. You guys got to get the wager pass so you can speak to him about it, but he's a lot more information about why he still has the Cavs winning this series for the reasons that the Knicks are winning with hustle stats, basically. That's kind of it. I'm just going to give you the broad view there, but he's got more information. Get that wager pass at sportsethos.com. You'll learn a little bit more. But yeah, I do think, again, the Cavs, I favor the Cavs here, but the Knicks have some really attractive players. I'm looking at Isaiah Hartenstein on both sites. 3,800 on DraftKings. On FanDuel, he's 4,500. Not necessarily the best play on FanDuel, but I do feel like he can put up a very decent line on both sites. He scored over 20 DK points in games 1 and 2 against this team. Actually, in FanDuel, he's got 14, 20.9, 22.5. So he actually trended up on FanDuel. Let me see here. On DK, he has 14.25, 21.25, and 20.25. So I'm just a little off there. Games 2 and 3 are when he had 20 or more DK points. And, the minutes were down a little bit in the last game. I'm not super concerned about that. I think he'll get minutes in the mid-20s. Just Tibbs does not trust Mitchell Robinson. It's a timeshare. And that price is just so attractive. And, his per minute output is also attractive. So I like Isaiah Hartenstein here. Going to have to get big to play these Cavaliers. I don't think I give you guys the game total. Game total started at 207.5. It's trended down. It's now 204. It even hit 203.5 at one point. So people are hammering that under. Just looking at probably previous scores in the series. So it's a little tricky to stack a lot of guys here, but I am stacking guys here. I think Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle, 7,700 and 7,600. I think they're going to go under owned because of that game total that's just so low, and people just don't want to stack. And so I'm going with Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson at 7,600 feels like a good play. I wouldn't say it's a lock or anything like that, but I think it's a really, really good play. So take that for what it's worth. I'm also looking, as I said in the pod, Josh Hart. I didn't end up getting him in my lineups. I did a little tinkering this morning, so I ended up taking him out. But 5,400 on DK and on FanDuel. Let me see. Hart is 5,600. I did end up with him on FanDuel, actually, looks like, for the time being. But 5,600 on FanDuel. I just feel like this is, again, just a good game environment for Josh Hart. There's going to be a lot of rebounds if we're going to trust that game total and say that there's going to be a lot of missed shots, a lot of opportunities to transition, a lot of opportunities to, get steals, blocks, things like that. So he is a guy that just contributes across the board. I love him here. Absolutely love him. There's really not a whole lot else to take away from this game. Like I said, I don't want to stack it too hard because I do trust that game total at least a little bit. It's not going to be like a 230 or 220 game like we're seeing in other sites. I think it could go over very easily at 204 where it sits right now. Yeah, 204. But we'll have to wait and see, obviously. Not too long now. It's only about 13 minutes till tip. All right, let's move on, though, to the next game here, which we have the Sacramento Kings and the Golden State Warriors. Let's take a look at that line movement here. I'm going to try to be a little more organized with how I do this. So Golden State Warriors, Sacramento Kings, tipping off a little bit later. Let me see betting trends. I'm looking at DraftKings for this, by the way. This is public knowledge, not looking at any tools or anything that you guys don't have access to. Started as a 7.5 point spread in favor of the Warriors, stayed at 7 of the Warriors. There is at all. So I think I gotta lean towards the Kings here. I don't have a personal bet on this game, but I think the Kings do cover. I don't know if the Kings win. I do have the Kings winning. I think I have the Kings winning the series. It can be a close one. I think it can go 7. I think this absolutely could go 7, but I do lean Kings here. So I do have most of my exposure on the Kings side. I've been rostering Steph Curry pretty much all series, but I'm not going there this time. I think De'Aaron Fox at 9,000 is fine. But the guy I'm really looking at, again, I've been rostering him all series as well, is Domantas Sabonis. 8,900 on DraftKings, and on FanDuel he's 8,700. FanDuel, I feel like there's no way I'm not playing him. DraftKings, fine. 8,900 is totally fine. So as you can see, I'm going with a lot of high mid-tier guys and low value guys, basically. That's kind of my build here on DraftKings. On FanDuel, I'm going more medium, more mid-tier, a lot of mid-tier guys and a few spend-ups. 3 spend-ups and some mid-tier guys. So that's how I'm kind of playing on both sides. But yeah, going back to Kings, I just feel like, again, Domantas Sabonis is just going to eat on the boards. Going to score a lot of points. He's been scoring a lot of points in this series. Looking for him to turn up the assists. The assists haven't really been there. Triple double is always kind of on the table with DeMontis, but he hasn't been anywhere near there with the assists this series. So I really don't think that's going to happen. But could it happen? Yeah, absolutely, it absolutely could. So that's always a little bit of an upside there. But the guy I'm really, really looking at on the Kings here, and I mentioned, on the pod, I did say Hoarder was kind of a good play on DraftKings and FanDuel, but I'm actually stepping back from that a little bit. I do have him on FanDuel at 5,400. On DraftKings, he is 5,600. I'm not feeling him so much on DraftKings anymore. I don't think it's as good of a play as I originally thought, looking at other guys in that kind of price range. I had kind of a limited time to do research before that pod, so I apologize about that. But kind of going back on that right now, I don't feel like Hoarder's a must roster or even a good play, honestly. I feel like his ownership probably will be what it's been all series. People are looking for that ceiling game. He's really struggled from three, which is the one thing you have going for you if you do roster him. So watch him hit 8 of them now, which very well could happen. But I just don't trust it. I think I'm not going to be playing any Hoarder here. Instead, my favorite play here on the Kings outside of Sabonis is going to be Davion Mitchell at 4,000 on DraftKings and 3,900 on FanDuel. I feel like he's a lock on both sites, honestly. The main reason being that they're going to need somebody to chase around Steph Curry. Steph Curry has been getting the Davion Mitchell treatment all series. I would not be surprised if Davion Mitchell starts in this game. I'm going to go ahead and throw that out there. Keegan Murray's great. I don't know if he's bringing what you need to the table at the moment. I think he's a very nice young player. He's going to be developed into a very, very good player for years to come. But I just don't. I think Davion Mitchell is the key here to this matchup. If he can give Curry the problems he gave him in games 1 and 2, without getting fouls called on him off ball, which was a big difference between game 3 and game 1 and 2, then I think that we're really cooking here with that really low price tag. Obviously, he's not out there for his offense. He's out there for his defense. So take that for what it's worth, but he's still going to get shots up, and he's still going to get assists, maybe a rebound or two, hopefully a steal or two. So, we're looking for maybe about 20 DK points. We're not looking for a whole lot. I clicked the wrong D Mitchell. I was like, wait a minute, he hasn't scored 40. So he had 26 in game 2. He had 13.75 in game 1. So somewhere in the middle there is probably like where my expectation is. So I would say maybe 22, 23 DK points, hopefully. If he ends up, 19 to 20, that doesn't bury me at that price tag at all. So that's what I'm looking for from Davion Mitchell. I feel like he's a lock on both sides. I'm not really looking at anybody else on the Golden State Warriors side. I am looking, actually, there's one other guy I did mention on the pod I do want to mention here. Gary Payton II, who's been upgraded to probable. He's going to play in this one. Getting big minutes in the first couple games here in this series. He had 20 and 27 minutes in games 1 and 2. So I would look for the same kind of workload for that guy. And I think he is a decent play. Let me see what his price is on. He's 4,900 on FanDuel, so I think he's a decent play on both sides. He's going to get those minutes. Is he going to do a whole lot with them? Probably not, but you're looking for just kind of a floor game here. 19 and 24.5 DK points in those first 2 games. That's not bad at all. Getting a couple steals, but that's what he does. That's what he's out there for. Getting rebounds, points. Hit a few threes in that last game, so that was nice. That's what gave him kind of the ceiling game of 24.5. I'd be looking for maybe 18 to 20 points from Gary Payton too as well. But as you can see, you're talking about Davion Mitchell, Gary Payton. I'm asking for the same basic output from both of them, and we're talking about a difference of $300 on DraftKings. So that's why I think Davion Mitchell's a lock. I don't think Gary Payton's a lock, but I think he's a very solid play. And as I'm saying that, I'm trying to see if I can, because I can't fit him in necessarily. Oh man, I'm just 100 short of being able to fit him in, which would be really nice, but it is what it is. Tough. All right, let's talk about Boston, Atlanta. Well, I don't think I talked about the game total for Golden State Warriors and Kings. 238.5 it opened at, trended down to 237.5. It's been going under all series, so kind of interesting, but I do feel like it ends up there's always that propensity or that possibility for them to score 240 points. It could be. I'm waiting for the barn burner still. I've less hope that's going to happen though with the way the series has played out so far. It's been more of a defensive series, which is really surprising, but also really entertaining to watch. I mean, we've had a lot of fun watching this series. So, all right, let's talk a little bit about which game here, Boston and Atlanta. I am interested in this game. I feel like here's why. I feel like Boston. This is Boston Strikes Back, right? That was my headline. Boston Strikes Back. Atlanta really gave it to him that last game. Tatum was kind of remorseful afterwards, blaming himself and all that. You got the narratives going on out there, but I mean, in the end, Boston is still the title favorite. They're still the team that I'm taking. Probably, I'll say 7.5 out of 10 times that these teams face off, I'm taking the Boston Celtics. So that's my confidence there in them winning 75%. I'll give a 75% chance. So there you go. We have a spread here, which is 6.5 points in favor of the Celtics. It started at 5.5. So people have been hammering the Celtics. No surprise there. Celtics are a popular team and they are the better team. So if you want to get in on that line, definitely you want to hammer that early. The total started at 231.5, trended up a little bit, and then came back to 231.5. So it's kind of wavering there. That's usually a good indication that that line is very solid when it opens. So it's probably going to end somewhere around there, which is actually where I think the Kings and Warriors will end as well, a little bit below the 238 or so. So about the same. So another attractive, game to target. Again, if you're just joining, I mentioned a lot of people are going to play Tatum. Everywhere I saw, I mean, that's what I do is, this is why I have bags under my eyes. I have two toddlers anyways, so I don't sleep anyways, but I get on Twitter, I stay on Twitter for you guys to get the info, to see who are all these people that I'm following that do DFS and what are they playing? What are they suggesting? And Tatum is all over the place. So Tatum's going to have high ownership. It's justified. This is a good, again, bounce back game here for the Celtics. Going to go up, hopefully, or they need to win this game. Do. I feel like it's a big game for them. So I think, you can definitely roster some Tatum. I think the good pivot here is Jaylen Brown, who's going to have lower ownership. He's only 8,200 on DraftKings. I don't have him in my full disclosure, but I do feel like he is a very decent guy to own. 8,500 on FanDuel as well. So if I'm gonna roster somebody in a GPP, for me, it just makes more sense to go with Jaylen Brown. I mean, Tatum may end up being the highest scorer on the slate, and that's going to bury you. So let me say that it is a risky move to do that. But if you're looking to win the big money and not just hit the cash line, that's the kind of pivot that could win you that. So I do like Jaylen Brown a whole lot here. Tatum I like as well. I'm just not going to roster him because of the ownership factor there. Anyone else on these? I mean, we do have Marcus Smart questionable here. I can't. I don't think that guy's tough as nails. I don't think he's not going to play. I think he's absolutely going to play. How healthy is he going to be? I don't know. But I'm really not leaning into. If we get news that Marcus Smart's going to be out and you're able to pivot late, a little late lock action, I would go to Malcolm Brogdon at 5,300 on DraftKings, but I just don't think it's going to happen. Not really looking at any of the other Celtics here. I think, just the two top dogs really for me. But on the Atlanta side, I do have some interest as well. I do think Atlanta, they've shown they have a puncher's chance and they're going to come out and they're going to keep this competitive, I believe. I'm still on Bogey Bogdanovic. He's 5,200 on DraftKings. So if you're looking for like a guy that's better than Huerter, I think that's really the guy. I think, it's been proven. I've been saying it all series, and he did get injured in that last one and had to sit the fourth quarter. But he absolutely has to be in that lineup there to do some offensive creation for the Hawks. It's just absolutely essential. I've been saying it all series. They were doing it. He had a really hot start in that last one, and then the injury kind of robbed us of any kind of ceiling game. So I'm looking his way again. He ended up with 26.5 DK points, 32 the one before that, 28.5 the one before that. Just really solid, good. I mean, just shooting the lights out of the ball, man. 63.6%, 75% in the last two games, hitting it from deep at a really high rate. Dishing out some assists. I'm on his assists over at 2.5 at plus odds for the wager pass. So there's a little free wager pass play for you guys. But I don't see any way that Bogey doesn't have at least probably 30 points here, 30 DK points. I mean, unless he just absolutely shoots the ball dreadfully, which he hasn't done all series. I'm all over him. I'm also looking huge. I mentioned him in the last slate. Sadiq Bey, 4,000 on DK on FanDuel. He is 4,900. Not super into him on FanDuel, but on DK, I think you absolutely have to take that. He's basically a lock for me. Again, the Hawks want to win this series or win this game against the Celtics. They're going to have to spread it out, distribute the ball, get open threes, hit open threes. Sadiq Bey, I don't know why he had his minutes cut in, what was that, game 3? But here, I mean, he's got to be in the lineup. He's got to be out there. He had 27 minutes in the last game, 15 in game 2. That was game 2. He only had 15 minutes and 0 of 4 from the field. I mean, look, is the ceiling absolutely solid? I mean, is the floor absolutely solid? No, it's not. There's a possibility that he has a game 2 performance where he goes 0 of 3, 0 of 4, 0 of 5, 1 for 6, 1 for 7 from the field. And that's going to suck. That's going to really, really be a hard hole to climb out of. But they're going to need him on the floor. They're going to need to try to outscore the Celtics. They've proven they can beat them now. Looking for them to come out with a little more confidence. I think people are sleeping on the Hawks a little bit. I don't like the Hawks to win this series. I like the Celtics to win the entire thing, the whole shebang. But yeah, I think people are sleeping here on the Hawks. So I think they're going to make it more competitive than people think it is. All right, starting to get about 10 minutes here from Lock here. I was just looking for some extra any news or anything like that. If you guys aren't already, subscribe, follow, definitely like this video so that we can get out there and reach more eyes and ears. Please do that for me and listen to the podcast for the love of goodness. Okay, last game here on the slate here before we get there. I don't see any super duper crucial news here. I might be missing something. Hopefully I'm not, but I don't see anything that we need. Josh Hart is starting, or Quentin Grimes is out. That makes Josh Hart a lot more attractive. Yeah, Josh Hart. I don't think I have him. I think I have him in FanDuel, but not DraftKings. So, man, that's tough. Cavaliers starters are all the same, so nothing new there. Yeah, that's a good one, though, for Josh Hart. Quentin Grimes is out. Josh Hart's going to play. He might play 48 minutes. I mean, that guy, he played the entire second half. When Quentin Grimes is out. So, Denver and Minnesota. Denver and Minnesota. We're taking a look here. We do have Denver, Minnesota as the last game, the late hammer. I'll tell you, Jokic is attractive, very attractive at this moment in time. I don't think I have him in my lineups. I'm going to double check that. I believe I do. Started out as a 3-point spread in favor of the Nuggets, which is ridiculous. They should be more heavy favorites, and it's trended towards a 4-point spread in favor of the Nuggets. So, yeah, bettors are agreeing with me on that one. I don't see a world in which the Wolves don't get swept. Sorry, Timberwolves fans. I love this guy. I think he's also a decent play on DFS. I think you can absolutely spend up in this game and have some late hammers. Looks like on DraftKings, I did not end up going that route. I do have Anthony Edwards. Okay, I have Anthony Edwards on DraftKings. He's 8,600, and on FanDuel, I do have Rudy Gobert, who I still like as well. He's 7,100 over there. So, yeah, I think you can absolutely spend up in this game for some late hammers. Anthony Edwards, Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, Rudy Gobert. I'm not rostering Karl-Anthony Towns with the way he's played in this series. He's hovering around the perimeter, shooting threes, not doing what he needs to do to hit that ceiling for us. So, no Karl-Anthony Towns for me, but absolutely, I think those other guys, Jokic, Jamal Murray, Rudy Gobert, are on the table. Michael Porter Jr. did end up getting in my lineups, just too expensive, just kind of in that no man's land for me, where I usually try to go a little bit more distributing my salary a little bit more on the upper end and then the lower end. He's just right there smack dab in the middle at 6,500 on DraftKings, and on FanDuel, I think he's like ridiculously priced. He's 7,700. I'm just not going there. Relies too heavily on his shot to fall. I just don't think it's the best play in the world. But I can't blame you because he's been playing absolutely lights out in this series. Obviously, a key cog in this offense for this series. So I think Michael Porter Jr. has to be in your pool on DraftKings. If you end up getting to roster him because you saved enough salary, that's a big win for you. Could wind up being very good. Rudy Gobert is only 6,600 on DraftKings, which really appeals to me. I didn't end up getting him there because I wanted to go Hartenstein. I wanted to go Sabonis, so I didn't end up getting him, but I think that's really attractive as well. There's some other guys, though, in Minnesota that I do want to point out. They're kind of looking for answers. I said Nikhil Alexander-Walker is a fine play, I think, on the podcast, but in my heart of hearts, he's just not getting the offensive workload that we need out of him. So I'm gonna kind of back that one up a little bit. I really don't think you should go with Nikhil Alexander-Walker. I'd instead, if you're looking for a cheap option on the Wolves, what I end up going with is Torian Prince. He's 3,700 on DraftKings, and on let's see, FanDuel he's 3,800. So I think he's rosterable on both sides. I mean, look, the minutes have been not great. 21, 18, 15 has been trending down. But I do think when he's been on the floor, it's been a positive for the Wolves. I mean, what I've been watching with my eyes, I mean, hopefully the Wolves are seeing this. It is the Wolves, so maybe they're not, maybe they're not. Maybe they're just going to go absolutely crazy. But I think Torian Prince needs to be on the floor more. I think he needs to be out there to guard guys like the Michael Porter Juniors, the Jamal Murrays. He's just a plus defender, efficient shooter, 2 of 3 from the field in the last game, 4 of 8 from the field in the game before that. 4 from the field in game 1, but everyone has that kind of game. So a couple assists, had assist last 2 games, 3 rebounds last game 2, 1 rebound in game 3. So he contributes a little bit across the board. 1 steal in game 3. I'm looking for more of that too. There's a lot of variance with steals. So if you can get, here's a ceiling game I'm looking for from Torian Prince. If you can get like 2 steals, 10 points, and 3 boards, I'm liking it, right? So we're looking not for a huge game from him. We're just looking for kind of a floor game here, maybe around 20 DK points. I think it's a fine play. I'm not like in love with it, but I think it's okay. I'm not really looking at anyone else here on the Wolves. Kyle Anderson fell a lot with the price. I was surprised people were rostering him still at like 7,000. I mean, if Rudy Gobert's in, he's not going to get that usage or that the minutes there to really hit for you there. So I'm still not loving it at 5,700, but his price did come down quite a bit. So that's something to, if they do end up winning this game, does his price fall further? That'd be interesting to look at. On the Nuggets here, I kind of already mentioned, Jokic, Murray, and Michael Porter Jr. I think Aaron Gordon is also decent roster as well at 5,900. He's going to be very low owned because he hasn't had a good series. Hasn't really been called upon. He's had a lot of foul trouble, which has been a little bit surprising in the first half. So it's been a little rough here for Mr. Aaron, who I've been suggesting in the past. 4 fouls, 5 fouls in the last 2 games, but still pretty decent lines, and he still hasn't hit that ceiling game where he gets 45 to 50, and he absolutely has that in him. We've seen it before, so he is again. It's also on my radar. I don't end up with him on either site. I don't believe. No, I did not. So take that for what it's worth. So that's everything, guys. Let me just see. I'm just going to refresh here. If you guys are just joining, Josh Hart is going to be starting. No Quentin Grimes tonight, so that's a big news there for Josh Hart. I feel like I probably need to try to get him in my lineups. So that's kind of my late lock, up to lock here thought. The problem is I don't want to stack that game. So, this is kind of the calculus you have to have going through your head. I mean, I've already got on DraftKings 3 guys in this next Cleveland game, and I don't know if I want to necessarily stack it. And his price tag doesn't really fit the stars I want to get in there. So I'm probably not going that direction there. I've already got him on FanDuel. So I think I'm just going to roll with it. Good thought. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to make that late swap. Not on DraftKings, at least. I'm trying to think. I mean, I could drop from, Brunson. I could drop from Brunson. Let's see here. To someone like, point guard's tough. I've already got Davion Mitchell, though. I could probably drop to, I'm just not loving any of this. So I'm probably just not going to, let it ride here. I could go up to Garland, and then I can get to him, I think, but it's just not loving any of that. No, I think I'm gonna stick with what I got. I think at the end of the day, if you're not feeling comfortable, you just stick it out. Do with what you got there. I think that's fine. So I'm not going to get Hart in my DraftKings lineup, but FanDuel I am. Let's just take a look here. Got a couple minutes to lock. Please do like and subscribe, guys and girls. Whoever's listening out there, whoever's watching out there, drop me a comment. Let me know, what you thought of the podcast of the live stream. What I could do better. I got good graphics here. Look at that. Look at the graphics. The graphics are amazing. This is so disorienting. Trying to point. There we go. Boop. Mr. Dan Bespris, the number 1 digital designer at Sports Ethos within this one company. He's the guy, though. I love Bespris. You guys should all follow him, of course, if you don't already. I'm sure you do, though. Anyways, Just trying to see if there's any late breaking news here that we need to stay on top of. It doesn't look like it. I mean, news is pretty slow nowadays. We kind of know everything well before lock. This has been a little bit of a different postseason because we did have some stars ruled out late and stuff like that. I am going to stick with you guys through lock here and just see what the ownership looks like here for some of the guys I've been mentioning. And I should have a lot of Knicks guys and Cleveland guys to cover. We got 6 seconds to lock, so that's going to do it. No late swaps from me. But I am going to stick here and just kind of go over some ownership for you guys and let you know what I'm seeing. We just hit lock, so I should have there should be some. I need a producer to do a graphic of confetti falling or woo, we've reached lock. It's the end. You guys should definitely suggest a show out there so that I can grow this thing and afford to do something like that. Okay, let me take a look here on FanDuel, which is always faster to upload. So I did end up with Donovan Mitchell, 11.6%. This is what I was hoping for. This is good news. I am liking this. A lot of people off of Donovan Mitchell, probably on Tatum or Jaylen Brown. I mean, maybe some Jaylen Brown out there, but probably Tatum is the guy everyone's going to be rostering. So I'm hoping if Donovan Mitchell can drop that 50-40 burger real life points and outscore Jason Tatum, we could be really cooking there. Josh Hart, 30.9% owned on FanDuel. So, no surprise there. It is what it is. 8.8% owned for Isaiah Hartenstein on FanDuel. I'm a little bit not upset about that, but that's not great because he's not a great play there. I kind of was hoping for low ownership with that, with his price being so high on FanDuel. So it is what it is. But I really like that Donovan Mitchell play at this point. So hopefully that comes through for me. Let me take a look at DraftKings here. Brunson's 19.3% owned, so that's nice. Donovan Mitchell, 8.8% owned. I'm liking it, man. I am loving it. Let's hope that hits for us. If you guys follow on Donovan Mitchell and that hits, please let me know because I really hope it does for us. Hartenstein, 14.1% owned on DraftKings. Yeah, that's a little higher than I wanted, definitely. So I'm not loving that anymore, but that's it, guys. That is our show. That is our lineup lock show. We're gonna keep bringing this to you at least through the first games here where we have 3, 2, 4 games, 2, 3, 4 games. Honestly, once we get to 1 game, single game showdowns, that is not my forte. I'm gonna be bowing out. Maybe one of my other team members that's really good at that will jump on it and do it with you guys. But until next time, guys, please do follow me on Twitter. Oh, I should probably take this away. Follow me on Twitter here at my Twitter handle. I probably should have taken that away earlier while people were still watching. But yeah, follow me there, and I will talk to you guys soon. Go get that money.